Okay, so today I'm going to be opening up the Diamond Mine. This is the best one, honestly. Out of the other two we got, this is the best. Um, so I'm going to do a story time today about how I cut my aunt completely out of my life. I'm not going to say anything bad about my aunt because I still love her and I will always love her. There has always been in my family a kind of toxic behavior and kind of like microaggressions. So if you try to explain something you're going through or something, you're having a difficult time with, you telling them something and they'll say, well, basically they'll make it about themselves. And this is not just for one family member, this is for a lot of them actually. I understand when you're trying to relate with somebody, but when you try to diminish somebody's experiences they're going through or trying to diminish them, saying like, well, you shouldn't feel this way because I had it worse, or it's a little crazy to me because we all deal with our own crap, and you shouldn't diminish someone else's experiences and what they're going through just because you think you had it worse. I had told my close family members that I would see every day, or not every day, let's not be dramatic, but that I would see on special occasions, or that I would see here and there throughout the week or throughout the month or whatever. And I had told them about something that I really did not want my nanny to know until I was ready to tell her, or even if I never was ready, this was my decision to tell her and when to tell her, because it's my life. I don't know how hard of a concept that is to grasp, but so I told my close family members that this is what was going on in my life, and that, pretty much I had to tell them because they were going to be around me and they were going to see what was going on with this particular thing going on in my life. So I said I did not want my nanny to know yet until I was ready, or if I was ever ready. My aunt did not take that well. She did not take my news of what was going on in my life well, because she felt the need that my nanny had to know. She had to know, and she had to know from her, and she had to know now. So she ended up either calling my nan, because my nan ended up telling me. She called my nanny. She told her what was going on. And let me just tell you too that there has always been a weird kind of jealousy, and this is not just coming from my mouth. This is coming from a lot of family members' mouths, and I don't know what it is, but there's always been a weird kind of jealousy that how close me and my nanny has been with each other. And my aunt did not like that for some reason. I don't know if it's because she wanted her children to have that with my nanny, or what. My nanny and me, we were just so close. She was my shopping buddy, I was her shopping buddy. I don't really want to talk too much about that subject because I'm gonna cry, but so she told my nanny. My nanny was in disbelief. My nanny did not believe her at first, because my nanny texted me and called me and told me, saying that people are trying to say lies about you and I don't believe it's true. And it was a whole thing. So I texted the group chat, the family group chat, and said pretty much, I wish I had the messages still, I could read it word for word, but I said, meanwhile, my nanny did not tell me who said these things to her. So I just knew it was a family member. I knew it was somebody in the group that I told. So I messaged the whole group and said, I don't know who said this, but I don't know why you're trying to hurt me. Basically, I said, I don't know why you would say this to my nanny. I'm going through this hard time in my life, and I don't know why this person is trying to hurt me. Like, I told you this, guys, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through, and your response is to automatically run to my nanny after I told you I would like to not share with her yet, or at all. I don't know yet, because I was like, I'm going through something I don't want to share with her right now, something I know she would disapprove of, and I wasn't ready to share it yet. She then proceeds to actually take a screenshot of what I'm saying in the group and send it to my nanny. Because I told my nanny, I never told my nanny that what this person was saying was not true, but I just told them, I just said to my nanny, like, why would you even entertain this? Because why would you? The things that she was saying was crazy and was unacceptable. It was not her place to say this. It was not her place to take screenshots. After I sent a heartfelt message basically saying, you know, I laid this out on the table for you guys. I really opened up my heart and I can't help what is going on right now in my life. This is something that is kind of out of my control because I don't want to explain. I don't want to talk about that subject. I might talk about that subject eventually, but for this, I just want to go with this. I just want to talk about this, but so she took screenshots of what I said and sent it to Nanny, and it created this whole big division in the family because I said to my mother and to a lot of people, you know what, and I knew she took the screenshots and sent them to my nanny because my nanny told me. And she didn't say who it was still, but since she got the screenshots, I knew it was her, and I got it confirmed by someone else that it really was her that sent the screenshots. Someone that was closer to her than me. And, where is this diamond? Or whatever. So I blocked my aunt on her phone number, social media. I wanted really nothing to do with her at this point, because if you continuously try to hurt me throughout my life, little micro things, or, you know, just like, why would you want to hurt somebody like this? You're supposed to be my family members, and if I'm telling you something, like, you know, this is something I'm dealing with, and I'm going through a really hard time, and your initial response is to try to hurt me further, I don't think so. So I'm not gonna really put up with someone continuously trying to hurt me and continuously trying to diminish a relationship I have with somebody. Mind you, I really never had a very close relationship with anybody besides my grandmother. Because his family is extremely toxic, and I'm just not gonna put up with it anymore. There's no sense to put up with it anymore. Why would I keep torturing myself for people who don't really care about me? So I, for the longest time, had her blocked. She has a new number now. She did not get a new number because I blocked her. I'll just, like, make that clear. She just got a new phone. Okay, here it is. What is it? It's a tiger's eye. I'll clean it up then. That was the first nail in the coffin as to why I cut my aunt out of my life. Well, first of many, honestly, but there were micro ones before, so this is the biggest one out of all of them, and then there's another big one that happened after this, and I didn't have to really see her. She moved out of state. My nanny gets diagnosed with cancer, and, you know, it feels like a punch to the gut, because, you know, this is the person I'm close with. This is the person who means everything to me. This is the person I'm with almost every day. I literally kid you not, I was with my nanny pretty much every day. You know, this didn't hurt our relationship like my aunt wanted it to. We were still extremely close, me and my nanny. I mean, it took some time. It hurt our relationship for a bit, but again, nothing could really break our bond. So my nanny got diagnosed with cancer. And it wasn't good news. It was stage 4, and we knew we didn't have much time with my nanny. So I was over there every day. My pop would pick me up. I would spend time with nanny. We'd talk. We'd listen to Jesus music. She loved the Jesus music and Hillsong, and we talk and eat. And from what at this point, she wasn't too nauseous or sick or anything like that. She didn't want to go into chemo or any kind of medicine for the cancer. So my as time went by, you know, more and more she'd get sick, and my pop wanted me to sleep over there. So I was like, yeah, of course. I ran out, I bought a big blanket so I could keep it there, and I could just sleep on the floor while she sleeps on the couch. and I would be there for her if she needed me. I'd make her food, I'd take her to the bathroom, but it turned out that I didn't need to do that because my aunt came up, the one I cut out of my life. She came up and said she would stay. She wanted to stay with my nanny, even though I really, really wanted to be there, and I wanted to stay there with my nanny, but I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. So, my nanny was getting worse, so the rest of the family was coming up and seeing her more frequently, and as I was there, and I would see my aunt, and she would make talk with me. Like, I did say I missed her, and, you know, I said, well, I didn't say I missed her. I said it was good to hear her voice. It was good to see her, but I still, just because I do say these things, and just because I did think her voice at that moment was comforting, it doesn't mean I really want you back in my life. So, needless to say, my nanny got so bad at one point that my pop really didn't want anybody to come, and I was taking that very, very hard because I told my nanny that I would be back the next day, or whatever, I'll be back. And, you know, I was the closest person to my nanny, and I would be there for her no matter what, and I wanted to be there for her no matter what. So I really didn't care how she looked. Pop was afraid because he didn't want us to see how she looked. I didn't care how she looked, okay? All I knew and all I cared about was I wanted to be there for my nanny in her time of need, like she has always been there for me. And when they said that I couldn't come to see my nanny in her last final moments, I was heartbroken. I collapsed to the floor of my kitchen. I really just needed to be with my nanny. That's all I wanted, just to be able to be there for her and see her. And just let her know that she's loved, and I love her, and I'll always be there for her, no matter what. I had given her this scripture stone that we had matching ones for. I gave this to her before she got really, really bad. And it was a scripture, a prayer on it, and talking about how she's a warrior. And we had matching ones, and she said to me, do you want me to be buried? Would you like me to be buried with this? And I was like, well, if you want to, if you really want to. She's like, yeah, I do. I want to be buried with this, and I want to be buried with my cat, Moses. And I think she picked out a few other items. So I told them, and I reminded them, in this point now, we're fast forward to the point where she's bad, and they told me I couldn't see her anymore. My aunt flipped out of me in the group chat, and I couldn't see this, of course, because I had her blocked at this point already. So my sister was like, she can't see what you're saying, and I see what my sister's saying, saying that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I text Erica, what are you talking about? And then she showed me what my aunt was saying to me, flipping out at me. My aunt, thought when I was in the group talking, she thought I was talking to her. She thought I was responding to her because I couldn't see what she was saying. So she automatically thought, because she was talking, that I was responding to her, which I wasn't. She was saying, don't disrespect my dad. This is his wishes. And I understand this is his wishes, but you gotta understand it from my point of view. And I know my nanny would have not denied me from being there with her. I know she would never deny me from being there with her. I know she was a self-conscious woman, and I know that she loved me, and I know she loved me more than anything. We were so close. I just wanted to be there with her. And then that very day, she actually passed away. A little shortly after, a few hours after the message. I was so heartbroken. I could not believe my family was doing this to me. They wouldn't let me see my nanny. I was heartbroken. I just wanted to see her in her final moments, and I told her I would be back. I told her that. She's like, okay, Chickie. Because that was my nickname from her. And so fast forward, my nanny's passed, and that is just a heartbreaking thing to me. All the vicious things my aunt was saying to me in the group chat, saying, get over it. Are you serious? get over it. This is my nanny that I am close with. She pretty much raised me. I just can't believe how heartless people can actually be. I just really cannot. So that was the second thing that really traumatically happened to me from my aunt. And how she responded, how she acted towards me. And thinking if you think that is an acceptable behavior to even talk to someone like that when they're grieving and they're hurting. I just can't fathom it. I just can't. And then I kept going over the house after my nanny passed because Pop needed help. So I was helping my Pop after my aunt already left because I was not gonna go there while she was there. So once she left, my Pop had me come over and was helping, packing things up and seeing what the family members would like, and then he was gonna donate the rest or get rid of the rest because he was moving. So I go there. Now, meanwhile, I told my family over and over again, and I told my mom. I told her multiple times. I called her, I texted her. I said, make sure that my nanny, our nanny, is buried with the scripture stone too, that she had. And she said, she reassured me, saying, well, everything that she wants to be buried with was in a pile, and everything, she's going to be buried with it. Everybody reassured me that she was going to be buried with it, of course, except for my aunt, because I had her blocked. But my mom, I told her, reiterate this to my aunt. I told everybody, reiterate this to my aunt, because my aunt was actually the one planning the funeral. Again, that kind of hurt me too, because I would like to help. I understand those are her daughters, even though she was not close with them, needless to say. My nanny picked out a picture. She was a very self-conscious woman. She had picked out a picture that she wanted to be buried with. I reiterated this to the family. This is the picture that she really, really wanted, and my nanny insisted. She insisted and told me, please, Chickie, make sure they use this photo of me because this is the only one that I feel good with. Pretty much, she didn't say good with, but she felt comfortable with, that she actually thought she didn't take a nice picture. She always said that. But that wasn't even true. But that was the picture that made her feel comfortable. That was the picture she wanted. Well, that wasn't the picture she got. After I told my family members over and over again, this is just something I think they did to hurt me, because this was a picture that she was with me in. Now, mind you, I was cut out of the picture. I wasn't in the picture for her eulogy. Of course I wouldn't be in. But since I was in, I think that is the reason why they didn't use the photo. I honest to God think that is the reason why they used the photo. They used a photo which was the same kind of environment. It was the same day, but a different photo of my nanny with my pop-up, and he was cut out. So that was another thing. And then I was heartbroken of that because my nanny, she had trusted me. She told me over and over and over again, please make sure that they use this photo. And that hurts me because I feel like I failed her with that. I feel like I failed her with that because she begged me pretty much to make sure they used that photo, and they did not. Okay, and then, so whenever I went to the house and I was helping my pop, I was helping him clean off the table. And there I saw my nanny's scripture stone. I almost pretty much lost it right then and there. I was hurt. I was so angry and hurt that I saw that she asked it and requested that would be buried with her. We had matching ones that she would have with her always, and I would have with me always. And that was important to us. That was so important to us. And again, they did not bury her with the stone. I have it here. I saw I was broke down, but I kept myself together for Pop's sake. I did not want him to see me upset. I did not want him to feel any kind of way. I kept it to myself until I got home, and I texted my mom or the group. I forget, I did, but maybe even both. Saying, why did you guys not bury her with this? I was so hurt, and I still am hurt over it. I can't believe all the stuff they have done to me. I just can't believe all. I know they do it out of spite. I know it. There's no way it's a coincidence that you did not use the photo that she had begged for, because I was in it. And then the scripture stone that she wanted to be buried with because we had a matching set. You didn't do it. So, needless to say, this is why I cut my hand out of my life. This is why. All the hurt can never, ever, ever be healed. I know it will never be healed with some of these things. The hurt that she has put me through when it comes to my relationship with Manny has been tremendous. And as up till recently, I had never spoken to her ever since this. She had recently added me on Facebook, which I did not know was her because she had a different name. She did not have her picture. It was not her name. It was not her last name. So I added it back because it had mutual friends. So I thought, okay, this has to be a family member because I had family members. So I had just found out recently that was my aunt because she changed it back to her name and her picture. I don't know what to do with this information that I have, if I want to keep her on my friends list or not. I really don't want to, but I don't know how to go about that because I kind of feel bad, but because I already added her, but I don't know what to do with that situation. But I don't know how much of this video is going to make it in the cut, but I was rambling. This is the reason I cut my hand out of my life. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.